Founded in the mid-50s, McDonald's has been a fast food staple for over half a century. Over the years, marketing teams in countries all over the world have come up with hundreds of different advertising campaigns for the fast food giant. We managed to narrow it down to a list of 10 of the wackiest, funniest, and most memorable commercials that McDonald's has ever come out with. Here are 10 of the best McDonald's commercials of all time.
At McDonald's today.
The Coffee Bean.
I thought you might like some coffee.
This innovative advertisement could at one point be found on the sides of bus stops in the United States. It was specifically a McCafe promotion piece. However, it tied itself into the fast food side of things nicely. A simple advertisement, it depicted a single coffee bean on a plain background. However, what made this ad stand out as creative was the fact that the coffee bean bore a strong resemblance to a hamburger. When you think McDonald's, chances are that the first thing that comes to mind is the iconic Big Mac. This piece of advertising serves as a reminder that McDonald's isn't exclusively your one-stop shop for all things fast food. They also have a pretty solid breakfast menu, and their coffee can get you through even the earliest morning shifts at work.
Jim never has a second cup of coffee at home.
While being quite simple, this McCafe promotional piece definitely hit the mark, as it makes for an incredibly memorable advertisement that we'd really like to see more of.
They're thirsty for more.
The Fishing Date.
Let's go fishing.
This McDonald's commercial is a little bit messed up. However, we can't help but appreciate the touch of dark humor. It starts off with a married couple driving down a country road, clearly irritated with one another. The wife drops her husband off in a huff. He then proceeds to head to a fishing hole, a McDonald's bag in hand. Suddenly, a sea monster appears on screen and lunges towards the man, mouth open wide. The plot twist here is that instead of eating the man, the sea monster chows down on the McDonald's meal.
You ate my sandwich?
Because McDonald's is just that good, even sea monsters can't resist the temptation. Cue the time jump. The husband has returned to the same lake, but this time he brought his wife with him. She happily sits beside him on the dock. The commercial ends with the husband handing his wife the McDonald's bag, which she holds on her lap. Fade to black. You see how it's messed up? It's a different angle for McDonald's, as most of the fast food giant's commercials are pretty wholesome. This ad makes for a nice change of pace and would appeal to a different audience, specifically one with a slightly different sense of humor.
Not funny, haha.
George Costanza and the new McDLT.
Who are you, George Costanza?
Have you ever seen that episode of Seinfeld where George can't get that one song from Les Miserables out of his head? This commercial's like that, except instead of singing about the French Revolution, Jason Alexander belts out a tune about a new addition to the McDonald's menu. Many people don't know this, but Alexander actually kicked off his acting career on Broadway. So what new menu item was enough to get George Costanza to burst into song?
Tell her I need my baby, oh.
It was the McDLT. The McDLT, or McDonald's lettuce and tomato burger, was a spin on the classic BLT, or bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Essentially, they swapped one protein for another and replaced the bacon with a beef patty. It was served in a styrofoam container, which was divided into two compartments. One held the hot hamburger patty sitting on the bottom bun, and the other held the top bun, lettuce, and tomato. Keeping the hot ingredients separate from the cold was an interesting idea, but unfortunately, it was also the burger's downfall. It was discontinued after about 6 years as a result of many complaints about how the styrofoam packaging was creating excess waste and was environmentally unfriendly. It's a shame that they couldn't think of a better way to package this burger, but on the bright side, we're very happy that it brought us this amazing advertisement.
This is it. It's happened to me, Jerry.
Hamburger University.
What do I want to learn?
What do I want to learn?
What am I interested in studying?
This is probably the strangest of the McDonald's commercials explored on this list. The commercial is set at Hamburger University, in a class taught by none other than Ronald McDonald himself. As the name of the university would suggest, the students attending Ronald McDonald's lecture are all hamburgers. Making a special appearance in this class is a mischievous-looking character ominously named the Hamburglar.
Rubble, rubble, America.
Professor Ronald McDonald happily continues with the lecture, completely oblivious to the fact that his guest is doing his best to live up to his name. Thankfully, outcry from his hamburger pupils alerts him to the fact that the Hamburglar has been trying to steal as many burgers as possible by stuffing them into a duffel bag. The Hamburglar gets a stern talking to, and Professor Ronald McDonald sends him to detention. While it's not the advertisement's intention, viewers are left empathizing with the Hamburglar. After all, what wouldn't you do for a McDonald's hamburger?
Do it!
Free coffee.
Coffee, please, sir. I need some more coffee.
Anyone with a Gilmore Girls level of love or need for caffeine will appreciate this McCafe promotion. The brainchild of Canadian advertising agency Cosette, this advertisement took place for about 2 weeks, during which time you could get your coffee fix at specified bus stops. 2 panes of glass placed against the side of the bus shelter were filled with McCafe coffee beans, which commuters could take for free.
Would you like some more coffee?
Coffee, please, Tom Hanks. Give me some coffee.
Of course, you'd then have to go grind the beans and brew your own coffee, which takes significantly more effort than just buying a coffee at your local McD's. However, broke college students will do a lot for a free caffeine fix, so it's probably safe to say that many people would view the hassle as more than worth it. Free samples work well as an advertising technique, since once people get a taste of the product, they'll be tempted to come back for more.
I don't want coffee. It keeps me up.
Little Sister.
Sisters.
This commercial was as cheesy as any slice-of-life sitcom from the 80s, but the nostalgia factor keeps it from aging too poorly. Depicting a brother-sister relationship as it evolves over their lifetimes, this advertisement will pull at the heartstrings of parents and siblings alike. Backed by a corny soundtrack, viewers watch the ways in which McDonald's never fails to bring a big brother and his little sister together.
Will somebody get the kid a Happy Meal?
With such diverse advertising, McDonald's is sure to reach a wide audience. So far on this list, we've seen various types of humor, Broadway song and dance, free coffee, and now wholesome family content. If there were ever a way to convince your parents to bring you and your siblings to McDonald's for dinner, showing them this commercial might be it.
You have your own McDonald's? No way!
Olympic Pride.
Get off of my skin!
McDonald's was one of the official sponsors of the Torino Olympic Winter Games in 2006. The fast food chain took this role in stride and used the hype surrounding the Olympic Games as a clever marketing tool. This poster from the Netherlands depicts a steep ski hill and gives the viewers the perspective of an Olympic downhill skier. Peeking into frame are the tips of the Olympian skis. The skis are white with a golden yellow outline, and when they're perfectly aligned with one another, as they are in this advertisement, they form a very recognizable symbol. The golden arches of the McDonald's logo stand out against the white, snowy background, immediately drawing the gaze of the viewer.
You ski like that?
The games are a source of national pride for a lot of people, so seeing McDonald's support them in this way makes buying a Big Mac feel like you're doing your part to support your country's athletes as well. Overall, this ad looks great, and McD's definitely made their Olympic sponsorship work in their favor.
How do you think I got all this gold?
You deserve a break today.
Oh, maybe we should just take a break.
This cheerful, happy-go-lucky television advertisement features the staff of a McDonald's restaurant restaurant, singing as they go about their day. The commercial puts a heavy emphasis on cleanliness, as the employees are frequently shown cleaning the restaurant. Fast food restaurants are often thought of as being dirty, so it was a good idea to address this issue and show customers that choosing McDonald's is always the right choice, especially for those concerned about restaurant hygiene. The musical number also encourages viewers to take a load off and treat themselves to some chicken nuggets or fries.
Now get out of here.
Finally, the joyful atmosphere of this advertisement is contagious. You can't help but smile as you watch it. If you think about this from a psychology perspective, this can actually cause people to associate McDonald's with feelings of happiness, making them more inclined to stop by for a bite.
We were on the break!
The Showdown.
Hello, Michael.
One of the most iconic commercials, not just in McDonald's history, but of all time, is the showdown between basketball greats Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. In the advertisement, which was first aired during Super Bowl 27, Jordan and Bird faced off in a game of horse. The stakes? A McDonald's Big Mac, of course. The basketball stars one-up themselves with each basket. By the end of the game, they're shooting hoops from the roof of a building.
I don't have to dribble the ball fast or throw the ball in the basket.
This commercial proved to be so popular that it was followed up years later with a similar commercial, which starred LeBron James and Dwight Howard. Just like Jordan and Bird, James and Howard agreed that the winner of the game would be awarded a McDonald's meal. However, before a clear winner is determined, their game is crashed by none other than Larry Bird, who claims the meal for himself. It also serves as a reminder that while the LeBron James versus Dwight Howard commercial will go down in history, it still doesn't have anything on Michael Jordan and Larry Bird's original McDonald's showdown.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
2 all-beef patties.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, cheese, lettuce, pickles, onions on a special meat beat it.
And last, but certainly not least, is the commercial that brought us what is arguably the most famous jingle of all time.
It's 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
If you grew up in the 80s, there's no way that you don't have the lyrics permanently burned into your memory. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. The jingle, which describes the Big Mac burger, debuted in the mid-70s and has been brought back many times since then.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
This specific advertisement is from the 80s and provides a beautiful adaptation of the jingle. A female choir kicks things off, but male voices soon join in. Accompanying the singing are several delectable-looking images of the Big Mac. This jingle and the burger it describes are truly a testament to the popularity of McDonald's. The Big Mac was released in the late 60s and continues to be one of the most beloved foods in the world. And this 40-year-old plus jingle continues to be sang to this very day. You can't argue the cultural impact of this advertisement, and that's why it deserves the #1 spot on this list.
I'm the king of the world!
You can always find more great Babbletop videos right here. Just tap on that screen. And if you haven't joined our notification squad yet, what are you waiting for? Show us some love and slam that subscribe button and click that bell.